One customer behavior that frustrates you.
Customers asking for discounts.
Cup for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll take both because I think I deserve both.
Contact lenses or eyewear?
The answer is very clear. I'm wearing glasses.
Making you look good makes us look good.
I'm sorry I'm being a little selfish, but I hope I look good.
We want you to look good.
Is there one guiding principle that your company holds that others tend to overlook?
Saying no to brands which don't align with us. Eye testing is not just a formality. That's our core foundation. That's something we really swear by.
I didn't realize I was blind before this.
Virtual try-on, I feel like, is a little bit of a myth. With eyewear, it has to feel right.
Hello and welcome to Clear Vision, stories from India's leading opticians, a podcast by VisionPlus magazine. We're grateful to Zeiss for sponsoring this podcast. I'm Tabriz Bolar and joining me is Frank Pawar today. We're delighted to launch our very first episode with a guest who represents the new generation of optical leadership, Sarvash Kalra, Director of Dayal Opticals, a name trusted by customers for decades. In this conversation, we explore his journey, the philosophy behind a generational brand, and how the future of eye care and eyewear is taking shape.
Welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be part of it. Thank you.
Let's start with something personal. Stepping into a legacy brand so young, you joined recently. What has shaped the leadership style early on?
So I think coming into a legacy brand, I joined around 5 years ago. I would say it comes with a lot of responsibility and it's definitely very humbling because you end up inheriting trust that you yourself didn't personally build. And I think that's something that matures you really fast. But I would sort of let that and drive me and fuel me because I've seen my grandfather and my father sort of attend to customers and not just sell a product, but build a long-term relationship. I've learned from my staff who've been a part of the family for, I would say, around 20-25 years. And I think it's very important to firstly listen rather than just speak. So the first 2 years, I just did that and then build systems. So I'm just grateful to be a part of it.
Dayal Opticals carries generations of trust. What part of that legacy truly feels timeless to you?
Trust and legacy just go hand in hand. It's sort of the foundation which we're sort of expanding today. And that's our biggest strength. That's something which I take a lot of pride. I think the most important thing is a few points which I personally think are really important is clinical integrity. That's something we guys have always focused on. And just the fact that we don't look at short-term sales or discounting and we focus on a customer experience, not just sell a product, but curate identity.
Is there one guiding principle that your company holds that others tend to overlook?
Authentic products over discounting. That's something we always believed in. Providing and complementing that with good services because I don't feel like you can justify good products if you don't have good services or if you don't have good people to justify those products. Saying no to brands which don't align with us and our standard in terms of the product quality or the work ethic of the brands. That's something which I swear by. And eye testing is not just a formality. That's our core foundation. That's not really the second step. That's something we really swear by.
Okay, speaking on behalf of all the Gen Zs and all the trend setters on social media, this is an interesting question because eyewear initially was just for vision, but now it's become a social statement, a style statement on social media. What was that trend in 2025 that nobody saw coming, but your customers are asking for them?
Wasn't really a sudden shift. It was a slow, gradual change, which I've seen. Our clients want subtle luxury over loud frames, over very bold frames. And a lot of the people who are ready to invest, they are happy to invest in good products over just big names, big fashion labels. They're not really focused on that. And of course, in 2025, the biggest driver was AI smart glasses. That has really been a positive change for us because in terms of sales, of course, but I feel like it's attracted a new set of customers who maybe don't need corrective vision, but still really enjoy the tech aspect of it.
In the current trend, everybody's an expert. Everybody has Google. Everybody has graduated from WhatsApp University. What is one myth that everybody comes to you and really frustrates you and say, this is how it should be?
A lot of new users for glasses end up asking us or telling us now, since everyone is an expert, that wearing glasses worsens your power or worsens your eyesight. But that's not really true. In fact, wearing glasses improves your vision. Wearing the right glasses really matters. Another myth which we get is practicing regular eye exercises improves and correct vision. It does not. It may improve your eye muscles. It may reduce headaches, but it can't correct vision.
Adding to that, Now, as you said, if, as Tabriz said, everybody's a social media doctor of sorts. They all are experts using chat GPT and everything. The biggest source of information for them is Instagram Reels right nowadays. They keep watching Reels and they come with some expert advice. So what conversation you are having with customers today that rarely happened, I would say 5 years ago?
I think tech-driven conversations are very frequent, which was not there pre-COVID maybe, 5 years ago. And parents focusing a lot on myopia control lenses. That's something which we've seen an uptake in the trends. And I personally did not see that in the last few years. Consumers just being very mindful of their screen time, even though it's not easy. My screen time has increased a lot over the last few years. But just the fact that they're very aware that screen time can cause headaches, can be stressful for the eyes. So these are definitely conversations which we did not have maybe pre-COVID or 5 years ago, and now they're much more common.
Do you think there's an overload about how people are focusing today?
I feel like digital fatigue is pretty real. And like I said, we guys are aware of it, but we need to be more mindful and we need to practice staying away from digital screens as much as we can, because it does like something like being on the phone really reduces your blinking, and that can really lead to dry eyes. So just small things like this, but yes, digital fatigue is quite real.
Well, it's been, I would say, couple of years that I'm working with opticians in the optical industry. So for me, they are the unsung heroes as of now, because now when I go to optical store, I know that they are there to help me out. Something that I probably never would have considered. But is there a customer moment for you, a big or small, something that made you stop and think that this is why opticians matter?
I don't think there's one particular moment, but on top of my mind, if I can think of something as small as parents coming in with their children and telling us that finally my son or daughter can see the whiteboard clearly, or a new user who has maybe a minor prescription of just 0.5, 0.25, just wearing glasses and telling us that I didn't know you could actually see this clearly. So instances like that really remind us that we're grateful to be opticians. And the great part is it's not just one single moment. We're reminded day in, day out. And that's what keeps us passionate.
Even when I got these one made, I literally trusted the optician. I told them, you are the expert. And she felt great for that. And I'm like, okay, I understand what you're doing and you're helping me out.
And I didn't realize I was blind before this.
Exactly. So it's very reassuring for us. I mean, and I'm sure for all the opticians out there and for all the optometrists, these are small wins and these are small things which really matter.
You've spoken about AI recently and how things are changing over here. But among all the innovations that are happening and the way technology is reshaping eye care, is there something specific that you would say is genuinely improving outcomes and something that you think is just a hype and would fizzle out in a few years?
I think the way lenses are being made today, I've visited a lot of the lens factories, be it Zeiss, the way progressive lenses are made, to customize, personalized progressive lenses, that's something which is fantastic to see. I personally don't wear progressive lenses.
I just started wearing them.
So I think once you understand, because it does come at a cost, right? Good lenses are slightly on the costlier side, but I've gotten the feedback that it's definitely worth it. So the personalized lenses are really good. Myopia control, like I mentioned previously, is extremely important. And I feel like tech in terms of not just lenses has been really helpful for me in terms of improving my inventory. AI glasses do have a lot more use cases. These are definitely something which is an actual utility. In terms of hype, a little bit of blue filter glasses, that's a little bit of a hype. And I would say, I'm not sure, the virtual try-on is something which I don't swear by. We have a full-fledged online e-commerce website as well, but virtual try-on, I feel like, is a little bit of a myth. With eyewear, it has to feel right, physically feel right. And I think online cannot replace that. So a lot of acetate frames, for example, don't suit me on my nose structure because I have a bony nose. So I will, on the virtual try-on, of course, it will suit me. Or, for example, if the width of a frame on the virtual try-on, you will not understand whether it's comfortable or not, but it could be hurting the back of your temple. So certain things virtual try-on cannot tell you. What's great when it comes to technology is the data, the kind of brands and authenticity you have online, you're gaining that. And a lot of customers are very well versed and well informed as to which frame they already need and what sizes they wear. But virtual try-on is something which I feel like is a bit of a myth.
How has your experience been for your customers with the people who tried on the virtual try-on on your website and they've ordered frames online? And what kind of returns do you get?
We personally don't have virtual try-on our website because we did have a small pilot phase, I would say 3 years ago, but I don't think the tech aspect for us was worth investing in as well. We guys only deal in luxury international brands, and our focus is to provide authentic eyewear to customers who don't have access in their cities, be it tier 2, tier 3 cities, people who've heard of Dayal Optical, or build a website which looks genuine, where you have authentic products and where you have the after sale service as well. I think the biggest advantage for us is we have a brick and mortar model, which is our base and our foundation. So we can provide that after sale service. So it's just an extension of our physical stores. And in terms of returns, fortunately, we don't get a lot of returns because, like I mentioned, the customers are already very well versed. They know it's an international brand. We have that advantage because the brands also have that goodwill.
But Taba, what he said is actually makes sense because now over a period of time, progressive lenses, photogrammetric lenses, I use both of them. They are a game changer for sure. Now I don't have to carry two specs with me.
I agree. I always use photochromatic lenses. My team will not be happy if they hear this, but I find it extremely convenient.
Same, yeah,
I
same.
find it
Same,
extremely
yeah.
convenient. And most of the frames, I don't personally look at frames and then get photochromatic lenses. I'm just sure that whatever frame I wear, I'm just back hoping that it'll look good in photochromatic as well.
And photochromatic has very high speed right now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very
after
fast. It's
technology,
very fast.
that's what I meant by
Yeah.
the new technology of photochromatic with the colors enhanced and the way it darkens and it fades down as well
Yeah.
is fantastic.
You don't realize how calming it is until you remove them. So I'm just glad that all the tech things he mentioned, I'm using them right now.
You're in good hands.
I'm in good hands. Well, so speaking on that, so things change very drastically nowadays. Technology with AI, I think things have just. And I come from a generation. I don't know which generation I come from because too much difficult slangs over there. But yeah, technology is changing every now and then. So if you imagine the optical industry, let's say 2030 or maybe even 5 years from now,
Right.
what do you think will change most drastically?
I'm not sure there'll be a lot of drastic changes, but of course, customers being more aware than they already are. Like you said in the start, that today everyone knows everything because of Instagram and other social media platforms. Of course, having more educated conversations with our customers, giving them better quality lenses. We've already seen customers investing more in lenses than frames, which is something which is reassuring because eye health does matter to them. But also not just because they feel like expensive lenses are better. They should be more well informed. In terms of experiences, I feel like I would want to see more opticians have more experience driven stores where we can sit and increase chair time, consult customers one on one, and just give them experience if they're spending that kind of money. So just these kind of things, and of course, much better tech along with human integration.
So just to tell our viewers, we are not wearing these for show. We actually all have prescribed opticals.
Yes, I mean, I've had it since I was 4 years old, and before I knew I'd entered this industry, so goes well with me.
So, Sarvash, despite all that hype about the online boom, Dayal Opticals is still doing brilliantly well. They are growing. You've just opened a new store in Mumbai, as I understand. What exactly do you think is what do independent opticians offer that online stores cannot?
I think it's very basic in terms of the services to start with. It's something obviously you don't get online. The experience that drives independent opticians and drives customers, because we are in the luxury industry. So we need to understand that it's not just selling a product, which is what online is. It's about selling and curating an experience. That is something which is extremely important. To back that up, after sales service is something extremely important. Like I said, our core is obviously brick and mortar offline stores. So even when we do sell a product online, we are able to give them that service because we have offline stores. So solely an online optician or an online platform may not be able to give that. And online may be very convenient, but at the end of the day, in terms of any after sale exchanges, an independent optician is always accountable and responsible. And that's the beauty of it.
In your case, you guys cater to the luxury sector. I've seen your store, the new Bombay store, beautiful store, definitely international experience, I'm sure. But in general, how would you say other opticians, smaller independent opticians, can they still offer the same kind of quality? And if you have to advise them something of how to do?
I think in terms of quality, it's not just a store you build, it's more of a mindset you have. And I'm pretty confident if you're ethical and have authentic products, you'll end up building a long-term relationship. Because for us, it may get repetitive, but we strongly believe that it's not just about a one-time sale. If it was about a one-time sale, I don't mean to sound boastful, but I don't think we'd be where we are. It's more about long-term relationships. So I think whoever's in the industry, I'm sure they've cracked it right, because they are, of course, a lot of legacy opticians. And I'm sure they agree with me.
All right, so Sarvash, considering the legacy that Dayal Opticals have, if Dayal Opticals would have launched, let's say today, what was that one change that you would have want to incorporate in that? I know, controversial, maybe.
Controversial. I mean, not entirely a change, but a few things which I would want to strengthen, because when I joined as an outsider. I think definitely improve tech and improve our data inventory, improve and analyze our backend, the CRM. That's really something we focus on today. And if I was starting out, that's something I would focus on as well if it was a startup. So, in terms of the customer service, in terms of clinical integrity, I think I'm really happy with what we've done, and I've gotten a lot to learn from it.
Is there anything when you started off? There's always old generation, new generation thinking. When you started off, I'm sure there would have been some things that you did or you wanted and your predecessors didn't agree with. Is there any kind of thing that you can share with us? Because this is a very normal.
Or maybe this happens daily, I guess.
It's not only part of the eyewear industry, it's part of any industry, any family industry. I can't think of anything on top of my head, but definitely when I was starting out, it's a funny story, because when I was starting out the e-commerce business, it was back in 2021. And I asked a lot of, not only my father, I asked a lot of senior people in our team. I asked a lot of people outside in the industry as well as to what they think. And everyone was against it. Everyone said, don't start an online business because no one buys frames online, which are so expensive. Everyone wants to try the product and there'll be returns, exchanges. But I still went ahead and launched our e-commerce platform because I still wanted to build that brand. I want to have that catalog because we have customers across India. I want to be able for them to see our products. That time we were only present in Delhi. So for me, I think today the same people, I won't take names, but the same people who I asked and said no are a lot of opticians who have also launched their websites. So I think it's quite reassuring and I'm quite happy to see that.
In this age, I don't think you can afford to not be available online.
That was the most important thing for me. Even if I didn't get any orders, I was happy to spend that money.
Exactly.
Regardless.
It's where your customers are. So
Yeah, it's a
part of the
you have to
customer
have
service.
if you're building a brand.
It's part of the customer service experience.
It's not just about building the store, it's about building the brand.
Plus, people like to browse, I guess.
It's a catalog for you.
Yeah.
Right? So you have 18 stores today. When we started off, we had 12 or 13 stores. So to get and merge that inventory is just fantastic to see. There's so many options.
Most trending topic right now is AI. I think AI is present everywhere, in cars and I don't know, everywhere. Will AI, according to you, replace optometrists in diagnosis also?
Personally, I mean, I could be wrong because we don't know where AI is going, but I don't think AI will replace optometrists, but it will definitely redefine and improve the way we work. It can definitely reduce human error and increase precision when it comes to eye exams. But I personally feel like it's not just about data interpretation. An eye exam requires a lot of human interaction. Like, for example, if you as a consumer come inside the store and say something feels off, it's my optometrist who needs to sort of gauge and understand. It depends on his expertise as to what exactly is wrong. So AI, I don't think can understand anxiety or can build trust, but it can probably just become an assistant and we just need to use it in the best possible potential.
Yeah, because for our viewers, I don't know if anybody experience or know this, but when I was small, when I got my first spectacle, I had to do this and read alphabets.
Yeah.
And now you just have to put your chin and they give you a number.
That's exactly what AI is. Like the new boutique we have in Mumbai, we've gotten a really nice eye testing setup over there. And like you said, it's very advanced. I've been super close to the business, but from an outsider to see that journey from their first eye test to what it is today is beautiful.
There was a joke I remember where they made you read alphabets and the person just cannot read. And then the person says, I cannot read English. Yeah. So that was the reason. So I think that is one of the examples.
That's one of the examples. Yeah. I mean, it's technically primarily the same thing. So AI has improved, but at the end of the day, you still need the expertise of a very good quality optometrist.
This is out of context just for me to know. Where do you see the eyewear industry going for the next 5 years? I mean, 5 years is too long. I'll say 3 years. The way things are changing.
I personally, what I've seen in 2025 is something which I'll see strengthen in the next few years. This the fact that customers want better quality products in terms of the frames, not just fashion, but fashion with comfort and convenience as well. I feel like consumers want that convenience to try on a frame at home, but at the end of the day, they still end up getting out and visiting a store because that expertise will never be online. I personally see the eyewear industry growing because since we are only focused on luxury, I personally see customers really investing more time, money, not even the top 1%, even tier 2 cities. We see a lot of consumers investing in good quality lenses, which I personally didn't see the last few years. So in the next few years, I hope that's going to just strengthen and continue to happen. If you go through my Instagram, my bio will be eyewear is not just an accessory, it's a part of your face.
Yes. But does it get the position that it deserves?
Unfortunately, no. I've seen a lot of my friends focus so much on designer shoes, on designer suits and designer clothes. They buy a pair of shoes every 2 months, every 3 months, but at the end of the day, they end up wearing the same frame for like 2 or 3 years.
It breaks
And I personally don't understand. Obviously, I enjoy and I'm grateful to be a part of the business, so I get to change my eyewear every day. But that's made me realize that it is the first thing you notice on someone. So you should have at least 2 or 3 pairs to switch around. And the first thing you wake up, you look at yourself in the mirror. You don't see what outfit you're wearing. I don't think it's as justified as we should justify eyewear from a consumer standpoint.
If you had to suggest to a customer, general consumer or customer, which are the 3 or 4 specific eyewear that he should look for?
I mean, it gets very subjective. It depends from person to person. So we'll have to gauge and understand which consumer walks in, what their lifestyle is. But definitely, I would say have a lightweight, comfortable frame to wear every day. Have another frame which you wear while you're stepping out and you just enjoy switching things up, which you're not used to. Get out of your comfort zone, because at the end of the day, you're wearing a t-shirt and jeans in the middle of the day. But when you step out for a function, you wear a suit or you wear a shirt. It's the same with eyewear. You wear comfortable clothes at home, wear a comfortable frame at home, and wear something which you'll enjoy wearing and dress up well with the clothes at night. And of course, I personally, like I said, would definitely recommend a photochromatic frame, especially with the new technology. I was not a big fan in the last 5 years, but the way it adapts and darkens, it's fantastic.
In terms of progressive lenses or lenses in particular, we all trust the optician to tell us what to take. But then as a consumer, I trust my optician and that is it. What he tells me is, I don't really know what I'm picking. Is there something that you can share as a consumer, what we should be looking for in a lens?
Visually, you can't tell the difference between the topmost category and maybe 2-3 categories below that. It's not possible. So yes, you do have to trust your optician, and that's why we guys are as important as people actually think we are when it comes to the lenses. Because when it comes to a frame, you see what you're wearing, right? But when it comes to a lens, it's not tangible while you're booking it. So you really have to place trust in the opticians, and by placing trust in them, you have to know which brands you're sort of getting, which coating you're wearing, and which index. Consumers can be more aware about what index they're wearing based on their prescription, what coatings they're wearing, and just in terms of choosing the right frame, because certain customers have very high prescriptions. So choosing the right shape and the right material is also very important. So just these few things, and apart from that, it's very important to trust your optician.
How badly can one go wrong picking a cheap lens from a store or an online platform without knowing what you're buying?
When you look at the frame with the lenses, it's very different from when you look at the frame without the lenses. And that's a big mistake which the consumers make. And that's what I'm happy to see, because I do like to visit my stores and spend a lot of floor time. I see consumers being more aware and wanting to invest more in the lenses, because probably they've heard of such cases where their friends or colleagues have got frames online and they've just not been at par.
You can proceed to the rapid fire.
All right. Moving on to rapid fire.
Are you going to give him a basket? On winning, he can have this cup.
What do I get?
You get that cup. That cup is yours.
All right. Rapid fire begins. One eyewear trend that you think must die.
One size fits all.
Okay.
If there was one brand that you admire, which would it be? Global? It can be global or Indian.
It's a very luxury brand and a niche brand which we launched. It's by the name of Sato. S-A-T-O. It's something which I love
Make a note.
in terms of the ethics, quality, and the brand story.
Contact lenses or eyewear?
Because the answer is very clear. I'm wearing glasses.
Fashion or function? What is more important?
Someone that does both will obviously be the winner. If I had to really choose, function first.
Function first.
Interesting. Most underrated eyewear feature?
The fit. A good fit can change everything.
One customer behavior that frustrates you.
2 things. Customers asking for discounts, and customers choosing their frame before giving us the prescription or focusing on the prescription.
One habit Indians must change for better eye health?
More regular eye tests, not just when they need them, but at least every 6 months.
Great. All right. That was very well answered.
Cup for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll take both because I think I deserve both.
Thank you, Sarvash. It's been a wonderful conversation, very insightful.
Thank you for having me, Tabriz and Frank. It has been definitely very insightful for me as well, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks to Zeiss for having me be a part of this podcast, and especially the first one. And I wish you guys the best for the other podcasts.
And to everyone tuned in, this marks the end of our first episode of Clear Vision, stories from India's leading opticians. Thank you for being here. I'm Tabriz signing off with my colleague Frank Pawar. Until next time, keep seeing the world with clarity, confidence, and curiosity. Thank you.